Hey, this is Kristen. You are watching and/or listening to High on the Holy Spirit. This episode is on self-knowledge and how you can better serve the Lord by better getting to know yourself. So stay tuned after the introduction, and I will see you on the other side. Hi, welcome back. It has been a minute since my last episode. I'm going to try to stay on top of this a little bit more moving forward. If you are watching, I'm figuring out how to eat mangoes. So I have like a rash on my face, around my mouth, and on my chin. Yeah, I haven't started eating mango until my lovely brother married a lovely Thai woman, but I was not eating it the way she had us eating it. So if you're watching this, I also have a blue tongue because I was eating airheads. So, so it's a little bit of a different episode. All right. So self-knowledge. Okay. This was something I had to prepare for my Franciscan fraternity. Each of us we're going through a book on Franciscan virtues, and we take different members from the fraternity to do presentations on the different chapters. And I was assigned self-knowledge. So, self knowledge is something that in our Christian walk, our spiritual journey, is very, very important. And earlier today, I was listening to my beloved Mother Angelica speak about self knowledge and just knowledge in general. But self knowledge is really good for you to know what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are. And in knowing both of those, you are going to know how to better serve the Lord. When we have weaknesses, I heard Dave Ramsey talk about this, and he may have been quoting someone else, but I many moons ago, over 20 years ago, probably, but it's always been on my mind that you shouldn't work super hard on bettering your weaknesses because there'll only ever be your weaknesses. And so they'll only ever probably get to be mediocre because they're your weaknesses. And so we can be grateful to God in our weaknesses and see them, as our gifts from God to keep us humble. But He also gave us strengths. And those strengths are usually our talents and charisms and the things He's given us to serve Him, in our utmost capabilities. So it's also good to have self-knowledge, to be able to know what are we doing bad in our weaknesses. What are we falling into sin wise? We've got the 7 deadly sins of pride, anger, envy, greed, lust, gluttony, and sloth. I had an episode on my sin of choice, which was sloth. It's actually humorous episode. If you want to take a listen, I'll put the little tabby thing up here, in YouTube at least. And if otherwise, you just search it. It's a fun one, Conquering My Sin of Choice Sloth. But if you're able to find out, okay, this is what I struggle with the most, okay? So what you want to do, I heard a priest say this more or less recently, is you don't want to so much like focus on the sin of sloth and stopping. What you want to focus on is the opposite virtue, which with sloth is, I'm blanking, but I'm pretty sure it's diligence. And with Saul also, I went to confession, and this priest said that with every deadly sin, there's Jesus. There's 7 deadly sins, and Jesus had the 7 words on the cross, right? His final 7 things He said, and with sloth, the phrase is "it is finished." And I was reminded of that because, long story, I have a sign in my room that says "it is finished." I don't know why I bought it. I don't know why I kept it. I was going to get rid of it. And I really didn't pay attention to it until I had gone to the confession to this priest actually in Medjugorje last year. Anyways, so I've talked a lot, even in that small portion, about really paying attention to ourselves and how it'll help us grow in holiness, because we could see, okay, this is where I fail. This is where I do have my weaknesses. This is where I am strong. I'm a good leader. I'm a good speaker. I'm a good caretaker. I'm administratively gifted, which I'm not. I'm giving. I'm loving. I'm compassionate. Nurse on that side of things, and I'm good in emergency situations. That's more my brother than it is me. And I remember there being a car accident in the front of my neighborhood growing up, and this car, like, it's a brick like entrance, and I have no idea how fast she went into it, but her head hit the windshield, and I was flipping out. And my brother, who is now an anesthesiologist, just comes out cool, calm, and collected. All right, get the phone. Let's call 911. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sorry. Yeah, it was very, very scary. So that's not my gift. My gift is not keeping cool under like severe emergencies, but I have my other gifts. But really, yeah, getting to know yourself, getting to know your personality type, which also helps you know what your strengths are. If you're an introvert and extroverts have different things: sanguine, melancholic, choleric, and phlegmatic, if I'm pronouncing those correctly. If you get to know those and get to know yourself, and you're like, okay, that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm better at that than I am at that. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you have certain weaknesses and you see other people where they're not struggling that, don't feel bad about yourself. That's the way you were created, and it's okay. So to conquer the sin, you want to focus on the virtue, to better yourself in holiness, and to see where you thrive and see what God's calling you to see the charism, the gifts, the talents He's given you, and to know how best to serve Him is. That's I think the biggest thing with self-knowledge. And I'm doing this really quickly here, which I'm kind of glad to do a little quick video. But what was I gonna? There was another thing I was gonna say. Oh gosh, yeah, spiritual warfare. So, and granted, conquering my set of choice sloth. So my focus is kind of on sloth. I wish I remembered every single one of this, and maybe I can look it up on YouTube. But somebody was talking about like the spiritual warfare, and if you have a certain sin, why the devil is attacking you through that sin. And with sloth, the reason was that God is calling you to something, and the devil can kind of tell. He can see a projection of what the future might be because of everything he's seen in the past with people like you. He can project by what's going on in your life, how you're living your life, how people are living their lives, and how he could probably see us coinciding in our lives. Not coinciding. Is that the word? Is that what I want to look at? Colliding. But yeah, so sloth was, he can't stop it, but he can delay it. And he procrastination is definitely something I'm really good at, and that is definitely a strength. It's a weakness. But yeah, so I know that, and just, yeah, I struggle though focusing on the virtue to get more diligent. And I know a lot of the times where it's like I've been struggling with this forever, and it makes me it could I could get discouraged very easily. I could feel like a failure very easily because I do the same thing over and over again. That's wrong. But by the grace of God, we have a beautiful sacrament of reconciliation, just run to His mercy and His love. So, yeah, that's the thing, self-knowledge. And I was trying to keep it short. And one other thing, I was on the phone with a brother friend of mine. Shout out Johnny. And I was talking to him about just asking him to pray and others to pray. So if you're listening to this and you're a prayerful person, please pray for me to get better self-confidence, better self-esteem. And it's stuff I struggle with. People sometimes are surprised by that, but it's my life, and that's something I know about myself and know I need prayer in it and just to work on it. And so he was speaking about this book. It's not focusing on it. Focus. There. Okay, so it's seriously, work with me. Okay, if you're just listening, it's called Humility Rules, St. Benedict's 12-Step Guide to Genuine Self-Esteem. Now, this, as my brother friend Johnny said, is kind of written towards teenagers, young people, but just like it's got silly pictures in it, like with, yeah, it's got silly pictures, like they're old paintings in this. I wish it was focusing. It's like an old painting with monks, and if you could see the picture on YouTube, he's holding a paper airplane. So it's a silly book. I just started it. So he and I are actually going to be reading this together and discussing it. So yeah, so find out who you are. Find out, what you're about. And if you have a hard time, you can always ask a loved one, and I'm sure they'll be very open and honest with you about your faults. Friends, you can ask your friends, and obviously the person who knows you the most is God. So you could ask God to really reveal to you what your strengths and weaknesses are, and how you can use those gifts, talents, charisms that He's given you to serve Him better. And also ask your guardian angel. Develop a relationship with your guardian angel, and ask for that angel to just provide you with insight into how you can better yourself by knowing yourself. So that is it. I am back here. I hope you guys are having a wonderful beginning to the summer. And as always, um, I do love you. And I said it first. Oh no. Jesus loves you back there. And I do too. God bless you. Bye. Hey, one more thing. Make little Bill happy and like and subscribe this video. YouTube, hit the bell button, share, do all the things. Let people know who I am, that I'm out there, that you like listening to me. And yeah, make little Bill happy. Bye.